What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I got to have that Tiege pack. Tiege makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tiege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tiege Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tiege pack. Feel the Tiege, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for rocking out with the Anton Daniels channel. Yeah, we in the building. So on top of my game, I'm coming in through the ceiling. What up, friends and family? We got a whole show for you guys set up today. And I'm excited. Shout out to my chasers and the people that's absolutely getting all of the bags and the money. Shout out to the chasers. I appreciate you guys. How many of y'all actually checked out the Patreon exclusive video that I dropped this weekend? Just curious. How many of y'all actually dropped and checked out the Patreon exclusive video that I dropped this weekend? Now, why is Anton telling you that you should have checked out the Patreon exclusive video that I dropped this weekend? Well, because I want you guys to get rich. I don't want it to just be for a select minority of people. I want it to be for the majority of the people. And if the majority of the people are not benefiting, if you can't actually see it and leverage the receipts in order for you to continue to be successful, then what is the point of you getting this game on a daily basis? Pat Gigatayman said it was gold, just watched it, haven't checked it yet, had to do a double take at that video, watched it with the quickness, didn't get the alert, got to be in the chasers, got to be pushing. Some of y'all got the alert, some of y'all didn't get the alert. It was a lot of game, it was a lot of transparency. A lot of transparency out here in these streets. Now, why is it that Anton is so dedicated to living his life like an open book and making sure that the people get all of the information so that you can level up? Because when you become successful, I become successful also, right? I think that it's a lot of people talking on the internet, but very few people actually got the receipts. It's a lot of people talking on the internet. Well, Kevin, you said, honestly, I didn't find any value in that particular video because I'm not a content creator. Well, that's why we have the Discord. That's why we have different videos. So we have real estate videos. We got videos with regard to monetizing content. We got videos as far as how it is that you acquire the positions in the jobs, professionalism. We have videos with regard to how it is that you're supposed to move in a stock market. And so we have to have a lot of different videos for a lot of different things. But if you didn't find any value in it because you're not a content creator, but you didn't look at it from a business perspective, then that means that you're being short-sighted and I have a lot more work to do. That means that you're being short-sighted and I have a lot more work to do. Let me say this. There are business lessons that you can extract and apply to different things depending on what you're doing. It's not just for content creators. That video wasn't just for content creators. It wasn't just for content creators. It was how you extract the money out of anything that you do professionally. I was illustrating a point and I was making sure that I leverage my mindset of what it means in order to be successful, in every avenue, anything that you do. My talent is finding out where the money is. My talent is not content creation. My talent is not streaming. My talent is not videos. My talent is not user experience. My talent is not restaurants. My talent is not real estate. My talent is finding out where we extract the most money so we make the most money. And if you couldn't leverage that information in order to apply it to different things, even if you wasn't a content creator, then that means that you're not looking at it the way that I was supposed to be communicating it. And so maybe I have to do a better job of making sure that you guys are getting what you need in order to be successful. So I'm going to go back to, I'm going to hold myself accountable. I'm going to go back to the drawing board and I'm going to make sure that I figure out how is it that I could add more value into you guys' lives by hopefully making it clear as far as what I'm trying to communicate. It wasn't a content creation video. It was about being transparent, showing the receipts, and then emphasizing how it's important for you to extract the most money out of whatever it is that you're doing. How y'all feeling today? Can I get one word inside of the chat of how y'all feeling today? I got work to do. Don't worry. We're going to all get there. I got work to do. How are y'all feeling today? How are y'all feeling today? Let me get one word inside of the chat. Look like all of my cameras is working good. All of the equipment is functioning normally. We here. Focus said wealth building journey. Good said Loso's way. Blessed, 100% debt free. I like that. Organized, money hungry, flew, gracious, tired, determined, motivated, focused, amazing, chill, terrible, tired, rested, terrible. Blessed, strong, hopeful, reorganization, blah. How are you blah? Accomplished, alive, focused, dismal, excited, green, sleepy, wavy. Kind of bad this morning, awesome, Chiefs, artistic, tired, need a hug, resilient. A lot of y'all must have been partying this weekend. What y'all got going on? You've been betrayed. You feel stupendous, bag chasing, bet cashed, learning, hungry, focused, hustling hard, enthusiastic, beautiful. You sick, Miss Jennifer? I feel you. I'm a little bit under the weather myself, but we here. We don't miss. Grateful, Chiefs, gangsta, blessed, alive, prosperous, beautiful, optimistic, sweating hard from a workout. I like that. Wealthy, amazing, focused, blessed. Blessed says Adriana Gomes. Blessed, accomplished, fantastic, strong, excited, worked, money hungry, amplified. I like that. Ready for an Usher concert. I thought that it was great. Heading back to my hometown. Okay, Tam. Oh, Jesus. Chasing, trying to focus. Headaches, confused, broke up. Oh, you broke up last night? That's a benefit. That's a good thing. Up 100, paid. Mad. You pregnant? Came my way. Let me get a round of applause for my pregnant ladies. Now you better be married. Came my way. I see you say you pregnant, but you listen. I love the babies. Time dog love the kids, but I love the kids that's born within wedlock. So you better be married. I know that for sure. One thing is for sure, and two things is for certain. You better be married. You got that? You hear me, Kay? Congratulations. But girl, if you don't marry before you carry, man, you're going to have a problem. Can we get a round of applause again for the babies? We love the kids. Weeze loves the kids. Hey, before we get started with the show, I'll get the housekeeping out of the way in a minute. Before we get started with the show, let me say this, because I'm getting a lot of people that are basically hitting me up, and they hit me up for coaching calls, and they saying, Anton, can you help me? Let me help some of y'all. Okay? I'm going to give you my one word, great way, as a summary for what I'm about to say to y'all. Some of us don't necessarily have a earning problem. Let me say it for the people in the back. Some of us don't necessarily have an earning problem. Y'all are calling me and y'all leveraging the information inside of the Patreon. I just dropped a Patreon video this weekend. I show you what I earn. I will never be the leader of the bag chasers. I will relinquish my crown if I am not making at least $2 to $3 million a year. I will relinquish my crown if I am not making at least $2 to $3 million a year. I show my receipts. The receipts are in the Patreon. You can go and watch any of the most recent videos. Make sure you tap into the Discord. If you're not a bag chaser, then I feel bad for you because we running it up. And so the problem is that it's not that you're not leveraging the information in order to make as much money as possible. Y'all got a spending problem. Shout out to Timbo Ups. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. Y'all got to spend it. It's not that y'all not making money. A lot of people are struggling out here. But a lot of the struggling is self-inflicted wounds. Let me take a sip because I got a feeling it's going to be one of them shows today. If you have not shared this with your family and friends, we got a problem. Listen, I don't care if you make 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, $1 million a year. I don't care what you make. Most of y'all, getting rich is not difficult. Making the money to get rich is not difficult. Managing the money effectively is difficult. And part of it is, why you want to bring me to the front of the congregation, Jesse? You want to bring me to the front of the congregation? Why? What did I do? Except for show the receipts. Part of it is, it's not that y'all don't make enough money. Some of it is self-inflicted wounds. A lot of it is what you take in on a regular basis. I keep telling y'all, I keep beating you in the head. Every single week. Every single week. I beat you in the head. And I tell you, listen, stop taking in this nonsense on a regular basis. Do you know why I switched this platform? Because this wasn't the original After Hours. The original After Hours was this platform. This changed into the Millionaire Morning Show. I eventually came back to After Hours after we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish on the morning show. And the reason why I created this platform, or I pivoted with this platform, is because I wanted to make sure that you guys got what you needed as far as staying encouraged in the daytime and not at nighttime, because hopefully you'll live your life a little bit better on a daily basis. And that's why it's important for me not to miss. And so when I give you this inspiration, when I come to you, when we talk about these issues, when we understand that everything comes back down to the money, if you're not making informed decisions on a daily basis, then what are we doing it for? Because we might as well just make this an afternoon show, 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., because you guys have a spending problem. You don't have an earning problem. I see y'all money on a daily basis. I see some of y'all making 100, 120, 130. Oh, Anton, I can't figure it out. You didn't watch the budget video, the only video that you watch. It's like reading the Bible, but you only reading certain scriptures. Handpicking what you want to use in it, because now I think we've grown beyond the chew the meat, spit out the bone. No, I want you to eat your whole plate. When we put this plate in front of you, when I give you this game, when I tell you what it is that you're supposed to do, when I say, hey, listen, this is all encompassing. It's not just about making money. You also have to make sure that you have good character. You also got to make sure that you budget correctly. You can make a lot of money, but it's just going to make you a worse person, or it's going to mess up your finances, or it's going to put you in a even worse hole because you're going to adjust your spending according to whatever your habits are. But if you didn't work on all of the other things that we talk about, then it's just going to make you mess up even worse. And so we passed that. The chew the meat, spit out the bones is for people that want a social media talking point. What I need you to do is eat this whole meal, because I want you to have the meat. I want you to have the vegetables. I want you to make sure you drink water to go along with it. And then if you're really good at what it is that you're doing and you're doing it correctly, then we're going to give you the dessert to go along with that, right? And the reason that is because you can't have one without the other and expect to be successful. Because if you make a lot of money, but then you haven't changed your mindset towards how it is that you operate, and this is why even the Bible itself says, be faithful in little and then I'll make you ruler over much. You have to prove yourself to be successful and then scale up, because if you get it, you're just going to crash out. And so when I look at y'all budgets and I say, okay, well, listen, you make this amount of money, you make this amount of money. And then once we go through the budget, because y'all only want to talk about how much money you making, but you don't want to talk about how much money you spending. You don't even have a budget. You don't even have a calendar. You don't have no blueprint for how it is that you're structuring your life, so that when you start to make more money, you just scale up the same budget. I've been using the same budget since I was making $40,000, $50,000 a year. It's the same budget. It doesn't change. All we do is adjust the numbers. We adjust the scale. The percentages change. How much you allocate towards this. And so if you discipline, then you don't, oh my God, what is up? So I'm frozen. We frozen. There we go. As soon as I get in my bag, we start getting frozen. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Give me a second. All right, we back. But if you're not focused, if you're not making the adjustments, then you're just gonna crash out. You literally you're gonna crash out. And so I need y'all to really, really to dial down. Let's do it like this. All right. Let's back up for a minute. Let's start back over. And let's get back to ground zero. All right. The same mentality and the same mindset that we had going into this is the same mentality that we're gonna have going forward. We got to get back to basics. We got to get back to basics. You cannot keep doing this and thinking that you're going to get different results. You're more stressed than ever. You know what I see from women today? I'm going to be honest with you, because I see it more from women than men. Women are operating like men because they're in the same space mentally as a man. You can't work your way to being fiscally responsible. You can't out-earn your habits. It's no way that you can out-earn your addictions. Hunter Biden was out there with his drawers off over there in California, embarrassing his daddy, despite how much money that he made and despite his education that his father gave him. You can't outrun and out-earn your addictions. You have to get some structure. Stop dating broke. And when I say dating broke, stop dating people that are broke, because all y'all doing is trauma bonding. Get yourself a budget. Stop thinking that you can out-earn your addictions. Stop leaning into financing. Throw away the idea that you need good credit and time, but we still need good credit. I agree. You should have good credit, but good credit is a reflection of having good spending habits. So you shouldn't have to fix your credit if you actually managing your money more effectively. That's the whole point. You don't have to try to have good credit. If you have good spending habits, you don't have to worry about trying to get good credit. That's what I'm trying to teach you. Why do you have to try to figure out, oh man, I need to fix my credit? No, you need to fix your spending habits. Throw away all of the credit cards. That don't mean you got to cancel them, but you need to throw them away for a while because you don't need them. Klarna, Afterpay, all of this stuff got y'all looking stupid out here. And look, by the time you get done spending on it because you justified getting the credit card in the first place because A, you wanted to fix your credit, and then B, you wanted to make sure that you build credit, and then C, you wanted to make sure that you got the points. You don't even got enough money. You don't even spend enough money for the points to be relevant.
but they enticed you to get it in order for you to get a free flight a year. Come on, man. Tell me you didn't fall for the points, okie doke, for the rope-a-dope that they threw with the points at you. I'm going to go get another job, Anton. Well, you can do that, but the problem is that you haven't learned how to manage whatever it is that you got already. And so y'all looking stupid out here in these streets. Women got a whole lot of debt. Men is out here just fumbling the bag, trying to get a Charger and a Hellcat. You paying all of this money for a car to impress somebody that don't even care about you? If she wasn't rolling with you in a car that you got, then why you doing it? Yo, listen. I heard this crazy story, and then we're going to get into the show. I heard the craziest story ever. Guy talks to girl. Girl is a high earner. Check it out. See student's perspective. I'm going to simplify it for you. Guy talks to girl. Guy has a job. Guy is solidly middle class. Who knows? Probably making somewhere between around $75,000 a year. Girl makes $200,000+ a year. Guy, girl get married. Big wedding. Guy has a home that is already paid for. Girl comes into guy's life and feels like he's not pushing himself enough because they want a bigger house. Girl convinces guy, because guy is a simp, to move into a bigger house because now they have a greater income. Girl also has debt, lots of debt. But girl feels like she's not, or he's not on her level because he doesn't earn as much as her, but he manages money more effectively and he was living a comfortable lifestyle. Now guy is crying because girl has over leveraged them as a family because they were unequally yoked as far as their mentality of how money works. And now they out here in the rat race just like everybody else. Did you catch the moral of the story? Did you catch the moral of the story? Just because you make a lot of money don't mean that you're not broke. We so caught up that we don't take a minute to step back and realize the mess that we've created for ourselves. Now, that's a real story. That's a real story. Guy making a regular amount of money, happy with his life, comfortable with his job, fell in love, and now he fell in debt because he basically inherited the mindset, the bad habits, and all of the debt that came along with girl that felt like she needed to push him to make more money in order to manage their lifestyle that they didn't even need to continue to finance because now they over leveraged, but they leaned into love instead of understanding that marriage is a business first, but it doesn't come without love. Also, they can create this facade of a life to present to the people, but they crying on the inside. Let's focus, y'all. Let's get back. Get back to the core of what we do here. What do we do here? We create wealth. We keep wealth, but we just like Nipsey Hussle. All money in, no money out. Let me go ahead and acknowledge the people on Cash App that support the platform. I got to acknowledge the people on the app that support the platform first. Shout out to Jasmine, says, thank you for this message. I appreciate you, Jazz. Thank you, Jasmine. You are so sweet, my love. I also want to give an acknowledge to Mike That Dude. Shout out to Mike That Dude. Karen Cooper. Shout out to Karen Cooper. I got to give you an acknowledgement. Karen says, I watch you every day and I love you. Thank you, Karen. You so sweet, my love. You so sweet. Wally Amin. Shout out to you, says, for the abundance overflow. Thank you, my friend, for supporting the platform. I also want to make sure that I acknowledge all of the super chats, the early super chats that's in the building. Let me first acknowledge my dog, Sportsaholic, is in the building. Says, while they're all talking about Usher's hands over all of a Swiss Beats lady, can we finally admit Pat Holmes is new Tom Brady? I'll do you one better. I never even watched the Super Bowl. You know what I was doing? Preparing for the day. honest to God on everything. I put it on my Twitter and on my threads. I said, listen, while everybody else is watching the Super Bowl, getting entrenched in what was happening during Usher's concert and, whether Pat Mahomes is in Tom Brady's class and all back-to-backs and all of that shit. I said, man, I'll catch that junk later. Throw me the highlights later, but I'm letting nothing get in front of my bag. That's a fact, though. That's a fact, though. Real talk. I was like, while everybody else is watching the Super Bowl, I could be focused on getting ahead of everybody else. J-Dub says, is there a need to upgrade the Interview Like a King interview for virtual interviews, or is there a difference? It's not no difference. It's not no difference. I operate the same way with the same mentality, whether you're doing a virtual interview or you in person. As a matter of fact, if you master in person, then you definitely master on the virtual. You'll have more confidence. Timbo Ups says, hey, Anton, I'm 39. Wife just left. Wife just left. Started me a good job last month. I need a coach and call to level up. I got my sons. Thanks, fam, for your love. Send me an email, antondaniels413@gmail.com. Anybody that needs a coaching call, anybody that needs to get in touch with me, send me an email at antondaniels413@gmail.com, and we're going to get to it. The reason why I hit the applause is because if she left, then that means that she wasn't supposed to be with you anyway. God got something better for you. Take care of them kids. Iceberg Slim in the building says, shout out to the Chaser, shout out to Time Dog, and shout out to Usher for blessing Alicia Keys. Appreciate you, big dog. Craig G says, good morning. Just finished my morning workout. Bag Chasers is up. Big bro. Because of everything you teach us, I'm killing it at my job and my business. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that support the platform. I appreciate y'all. Y'all ready to get into the show? I'm going to read super chats throughout the show because I appreciate y'all. Listen, if y'all not a part of the Patreon, y'all missing. First of all, shout out to the sponsor of the show, Tiege Hanley. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Ladies, get it for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. It's a phenomenal product. I use it myself. It's absolutely awesome. Also, on top of that, if you are not a bag chaser, if you are not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I just dropped a video that is chock full of information and game. And then we got Stock Club coming up this weekend. So let's continue to run it up. All right, y'all ready to get into the show? Quick hits, ladies and gentlemen. Quick hits is a segment of the show where we don't necessarily think we got to dedicate an entire segment individually to each individual subject, but we want to make sure we keep you guys informed of what's going on right now. 49ers fans feel like Lions fans right now. 49ers fans feeling like Lions fans right now. I'm going to tell you why.
In that locker room for the 49ers, they're just trying to figure it out right now. What can they do to get better and beat Patrick Mahomes? Now, the energy here in Las Vegas throughout the weekend has been all 49ers. The fans have taken over, but now that bubble just popped. Let's bring in NBC Bay Area's Damien Trujillo. Joins us now right here at Allegiant Stadium. Damien, we were enjoying this wild ride for the last 72 hours, and now these last couple hours has been ugly.
Yeah, and Rod, you saw the fans as they were leaving the stadium on your way here outside Allegiant Stadium. Just utter devastation. You mentioned tears inside the locker room, tears out here in the parking lot area of Allegiant Stadium. Just utter devastation for these fans as they're leaving this stadium after this loss today. Now, the faithful, they were loud. The entire week they were loud. And they were loud, especially at this football game, even booing the Chiefs loudly when they took the field. They felt this was their time, their moment, clinging to every play, the touchdowns and the turnovers. They've been loud all week here in Vegas, and they showed their might the entire week, tonight included. But in the end, it was not to be. They saw the 49ers put up a great fight. They played an amazing game, an epic game, but it was not to be.
Yeah, they should have just kept running the ball. I think that's on the coach. To be honest, you got the best running back in the league. Run the ball.
I'm tired. My kids all flew in Chicago, Tennessee, New Jersey, and we freaking lost.
Don't worry about it. We know how you feel. We know how you feel. Listen, we did the same thing to y'all. We were whooping on y'all, and then we gave it up in the second half. And y'all felt good about yourselves, and y'all all flew out to, Las Vegas, you financed your trip, you got your credit cards on 10, you got caught up in traffic. I feel you. I feel you. And in the end, y'all all going home. Everybody going home broke, brokenhearted, and we know how you feel. We get it. We understand how you feel. You saved up your whole life to go to the Super Bowl in Vegas. At least you got a decent show out of it with Usher, right? Yeah. I was at the crib and I turned the Super Bowl on because I had to go pick my daughter up from the airport. She won gold, by the way. Shout out to my daughter, Leslie. She was over in Canada competing. And I picked my daughter up from the airport and we came home and I opened up my computer and I was working. I said, oh, yeah, the Super Bowl is on. And my daughter said, oh, Dad, it's still going. I said, no way it's still going. She said, yeah, it's still going. So I cut it on, and it was in overtime, and I cut it on just in time to see Patrick Mahomes break y'all heart. I cut it on just in time to see Patrick Mahomes break y'all heart. It was beautiful. It was awesome. But shout out to y'all for making a Super Bowl because y'all did get as far as we did. Now y'all just spent a bunch of money in order to get there, in order to be devastated as a result of it. Never mind that. Neither here nor there. Let's continue. So also, Defense Secretary is out hospitalized again. This time, he had to hand over his duties over into his deputy. Check it out.
We're going to turn for now to other news, tuck in some business, tell you about Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, who is back in the hospital because of serious complications after his treatment for prostate cancer. Nancy Cordes is at the White House. She's been following this for us. Nancy, not good. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Tony. Yeah, the health concerns continue. Secretary Austin is in the critical care unit at Walter Reed Medical Center, we're told, and the Pentagon says it's unclear how long he will be hospitalized. Doctors say the 70-year-old is being treated for a bladder issue. Last month, Austin was rushed to the hospital, you'll recall, in secrecy after suffering severe pain following prostate cancer surgery. Well, the Pentagon went 3 days without informing the White House that he was hospitalized, a decision that Austin has since apologized for, and they handled it very differently this time. The Pentagon says the current bladder issue is not expected to change his anticipated full recovery, and his cancer prognosis remains excellent. For now, though, the secretary's duties have been transferred to his deputy. This comes at a dangerous time for U.S. troops overseas and amid new tensions with NATO allies after some confrontational comments from former President Trump this weekend, all while President Biden's camp pushes back on a report that could make his age even more of a political liability.
This is a report that went off the rails.
On Face the Nation, the president's personal lawyer fired back after special counsel Robert Hur described President Biden as an elderly man with diminished faculties and faulty memory.
This is not what prosecutors do. It is shoddy work product.
Robert Hur has not responded to a request for comment from CBS News. The Republican, once appointed by former President Trump to be Maryland's top prosecutor, issued his 345-page report on Thursday.
You know, I've been seeing a lot of people. Didn't Toby Keith just pass away from cancer? I think that as we get older, and, you know, obviously I'm not 70, but I'm 41, I am starting to really focus a lot more on health. Or at the very least, it's starting to really set in my mind the mindset that everything that I do right now is going to affect what it is that I do when I'm 70. And so I'm just making that adjustment right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm spending way more time. This morning, I made sure that I allocated time for the gym. I'm careful not to eat certain things. When I get sick, I rest a lot more. And it's starting to really set into my mind that we are getting older, and we are, for the most of us, are starting to hit the second half of our life. And so we got to be careful because the things that we do all our life, similar to how it is that we do it from a financial perspective, is going to affect how it is that we're able to move for the rest of our life or when we get older. There's no point in making all of this money if we can't spend it or we can't live blissfully. You know what I'm saying? And I want to age good. I want to age gracefully. I want to get better as I age. I want to be able to out. You know, it's almost like older people when you see them, and it's either you will see an extreme between the two. You'll see extremely vibrant, running around every day, jogging, doing marathons, older people, and then you see the one that be moving real slow, hunchback of Notre Dame, and you know they losing height because they starting to get hunched over and stuff like. I don't want to be those type of people. I don't want to be one of the type of people that be on dialysis and all of that. Nah, man. Man, I'm taking vitamins, minerals. I'm hiring a personal chef, nutritionists. What's the point of making all this money if you can't try to, you know what I'm saying, live forever? So, you know, I'm resting more. I'm hiring more people. I got more people around me. Listen, maids, people clean up the house, skip all of that. Hey, I told Rita, I said, listen, don't touch nothing. Don't touch nothing. You know, do the little stuff, clean up after yourself. But that's what we pay them for. Let them people come in and do their job. So, you know, we got to be a lot more focused on our health. And that cancer junk is crazy because it seems like it's just tackling the young, the old, the new. I don't know if it's just the food. I don't know what the heck is going on, but it's like cancer everywhere. Anyways, last but not least. Hello.
This is your Amazon delivery associate. I'm here trying to deliver your package.
What address are you at? Where you at? You at the big building?
I'm standing inside of the where the construction site is, where the trailers are.
I don't know what's being delivered today. What is being delivered today? I'm sorry.
I don't know what's inside of the boxes, sir.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
3rd Street.
They should have. You should be able to deliver it. So it's a dock in the back, but I mean it's an office in the front. And they'll direct you to exactly where it is that you can deliver it.
Okay, so go to the big building.
Yes, sir. You on 3rd Street?
Yeah, like I said, I'm inside of the construction site, so that's where it directed me to.
No. Go around to the big building. They'll tell you exactly where to deliver it.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, bye. It's a new address. A lot of these Amazon drivers is getting confused. But anyways, last but not least, Waymo. So y'all wild out there on the West Coast. Check this out, man.
The incident was caught on camera Saturday night. No one was inside that car. ABC 7 News reporter Cornell Bernard found officials are vowing to make arrests.
They were just putting out some rage for really no reason at all. They just wanted to vandalize something, and they did.
Edwin Karengay came to Chinatown for Lunar New Year celebrations Saturday, but never expected things would take a destructive turn like this. A Waymo driverless car stopped in traffic, vandalized, and set on fire by a group of people. All of it caught on camera.
One young man jumped on the hood and then jumped on the windshield, and that kind of started the whole melee.
Witnesses say about a dozen people were involved. One person is seen using a skateboard to break the car's windows.
And then someone threw a firework inside of the car.
Nathan Vandersteen says he watched the car fill with smoke and catch fire.
Eventually people started backing away, but it was very, very dangerous. The car could have exploded. It's just a mob mentality, everyone, all the adrenaline of the whole situation. It was mostly, I think, young teenagers who were responsible for the damage and the vandalism.
The fire department responded and put out the flames. Debris and ash left behind tell a story of what happened here on Jackson Street, where that Waymo was set on fire. Waymo tells ABC 7 News the vehicle was not transporting any riders and no injuries have been reported. We are working closely with local safety officials to respond to the situation. The SFPD says it's investigating, but so far, no suspects.
It's totally unacceptable. It's particularly horrific that they did that during Chinatown's most important day of the year. Totally disrespectful.
Supervisor Aaron Peskin says police are collecting lots of video evidence of the crime in progress.
I don't know if y'all noticed or not. Shout out to San Francisco. And it's a lot of idiots over in San Francisco. I'm not sure if y'all noticed or not, but those cars have 1 million cameras on them. And those cameras are in like 8K. It's got LiDAR. It's got cameras. And they are vigilantly hunting you guys. I just read a report this morning that said that they are hunting every single person that participated in this thing. Y'all are idiots. Wasn't y'all supposed to be celebrating the Chinese New Year and then also supposed to be watching the TV as far as the San Francisco 49ers? You didn't do nothing but hurt yourselves and make more businesses want to leave. And now you want it. Now you got to look over your shoulder for the rest of your life because you're an idiot. This is the dumbest thing ever. And their cars are insured. So they're not tripping about it because they're going to get it replaced. But all y'all did was make y'all reputation even worse. Now y'all made the news and you on camera. Idiots. Absolute idiots. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is your quick hits. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to get started with the show because I got a full show for y'all today. It's going to be a great show, I promise you. Cartez Cookie says, I feel you. Good morning, AD. During the Super Bowl, I was baking them cookies. Shout out to Cartez Cookies. Make sure y'all go to Cartez Cookies with a K. Great cookies. Hey, send me another package, big dog, because that junk was good. Actually, you know what? Don't send me another package right now because I'm on a diet. I'm trying to make sure I get my girlish figure together before the spring, summer, because we're going to be out there with no shirt on this year. Our Alexis says, a bag chaser, first time contributing. First saw you when you did your video in front of the Hitsville. Looking forward to the growth. We'll keep you posted. Shout out to the new chasers. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Martin Meck says, morning family, y'all pray for my wife. She hit a deer yesterday. My emotions are everywhere. God bless everyone and keep them safe, please. Hey, listen, if she's well and alive and she's not in the hospital or anything like that, then that is a blessing. And always can replace a car. Hey, prayers up for the wife of Martin Meck. We appreciate you. Thank you, my friend. We got you, big dog. Keep her safe, God. In Jesus' name. Slant Sales Car says, Anton, thank you for the invaluable information you provide. I provide financing for people with good and bad credit. Sacramento area. Can you shop me out? Hey, can y'all go and check out Slant Sales Cars out here in these streets? Out in the San Francisco area, Slant Sells Cars. If you do not have a car and you are looking for a vehicle and you are trying to get into a vehicle and you are in the San Francisco area, make sure you go to Slant Sells Cars on YouTube. Get approved today. Good credit, we prefer. Bad credit, if you're not a bag chaser, y'all go do y'all thing. But go to Slant Sells Cars. It looks like it's a phone number up there. Call James Slants today at 916-271-0562. Let me say that again. Call James Slant today at 916-271-0562. Yo, Slant, I hope you love that. I just pulled that up. I don't know if that's an accurate number. It looks like that's an accurate number based off of what it is that I see on your YouTube channel. But go and check out over in the San Francisco area, over on the West Coast. Tell them Anton from AntonDaniels.com sent you, and we want to make sure that we do good business with good people. Shout out to Slant Sells Cars. I appreciate you, big dog. Also, on top of that, Wilfred Mitchell says, love the content, need a coaching call. Email me at AntonDaniels413@gmail.com, and we're going to make sure that you guys get it popping, all right? I love my small business owners. I love my people, and more importantly, I love my bag chasers. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's continue on with the show. We got to get into this whole Joel Osteen situation because I heard that it was an unfortunate situation. And you know the worst part about this is? The worst part about this whole situation is it was a woman. Now, I was following this over the weekend, and I realized that it's a woman. It is a woman that is the person that did this shooting at Joel Osteen's church. Let's get into it, y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Jennifer, thank you. Right now, the hunt for answers continues after a woman walked into Lakewood Church with a long rifle and a child and then started shooting.
Yeah, that woman was killed by law enforcement, and this morning, police want to know her motive behind the shooting.
Where are you at? Lakewood Church. Lakewood Church en route. These units at Lakewood Church. Active shooters.
We're told she began shooting just before 2 p.m. between afternoon services. At some point, she was shot and killed by 2 off-duty officers. The young child, either 4 or 5 years old, was shot along with another man who was in his 50s.
We have Lime TV coverage for you this morning. Victor Jacobo is live for us at Lakewood Church to break down exactly what happened there. But first, we will start with our Ugochi Iloka, who's live outside a home in Conroe. Ugochi, how is this home connected to the investigation?
Before we get into this, let me set the precedent right now. This is what we're not going to do. This is what we're not going to do. I don't care how y'all feel about the church. I don't care how you feel about Joel Osteen specifically. I'm pretty sure that none of y'all actually been to his church. I have not either. I don't feel any type of way about him because I don't know anything about him. I've never seen any article where it was needed for me to actually do a video on it. What we not going to do is we're not going to advocate for this to happen at another church. That's not what we gonna do. What we do here at the Millionaire Morning Show is we advocate for people to be able to say what they want to say without hurting anybody. I've never seen him do anything or say anything negative about anybody. I don't understand these monsters that walk into churches. Y'all don't even know why the person was doing it. I heard somebody in the chat say, and I also seen it on social media, but I can't substantiate it yet, that the person was actually from the alphabet community. We don't know that. If that is the reason, then that adds additional context. But y'all gotta stop. Listen, at some point, y'all have to start having some empathy for victims. I don't care how you feel. A, nobody ever deserves to get their hands put on them. And then B, nobody deserves to go into a worship service, regardless of what you worship, and have this type of tragedy happen. Y'all need to stop. Because when I pulled this up before I even reviewed this, because I didn't see this video, I just pulled up the news report. I went straight to the comments like we always do. We always go to the comments no matter what social media platform that we on. I went straight to the comments, and people were so focused on how they felt about Joel Osteen, or the church itself, than being sympathetic for the idea of somebody got hurt during a shooting, and it was actually a woman that did it. So this is not the time. Listen, you don't wait until you see something tragic happens to try to throw somebody under the bus. Unfortunately, him and his church and the people that were in the church are the victims right now. Now, if you got something to say, then say it outside of when somebody negatively impacts what's happening in this church. But this is not the time to do it. And it's so sad that all of y'all keep jumping on the bandwagon when y'all see somebody else do it. You know what's so funny? I did a test. And I let a negative comment on one video permeate, and then everybody else under the comments start saying the exact same thing. It's just like when you see women say, "Who hurt you?" I know that they got that from somebody else, and they're not even giving their own real minds, their own perspective. Don't be easily persuaded to do something that you're not supposed to be doing just because it seems like the bandwagon that everybody else jumps on. Stop having a mob mentality and start thinking for yourself. This is not the time to sit here and talk about, oh man, that's why he preached the same message every week. That ain't what we talking about. Nobody should be bringing a pistol into a house of worship. And you know what else y'all need to start doing? You know what else? The good people that spot it, y'all need to call it out. Y'all need to shame these people. When people say crazy stuff, the problem with our society is too many good people are sitting on the sidelines watching it happen. And this is not the time to turn the other cheek. At some point, we have to start confronting the people that want to be the loudest in the room with the negativity. At some point, y'all, it can't just be me. It can't just be me standing on business all the time. It don't matter what you worship. Listen, I don't care if they was going into a Muslim mosque. I don't care if they were going into a Buddhist temple. I just so happen to be a person that loved Jesus. But at the same time, nobody deserves when they go to worship to have to worry about whether or not somebody is going to walk in with a pistol and create chaos. Because I respect your right to worship however you feel like you need to worship. I may not necessarily agree with your God, but I absolutely stand on business when it comes to human rights. And so y'all got to stop letting these people get away with this nonsense by just saying this, by letting them get away with, and then it make it seem like, oh, all people are like this. No, we not all like this. And so some of us have some humanity left in us. Some of us actually have some sympathy towards the victims. Some of us don't want this. If you don't like him, then don't go to his church, but you can't sit here and say it's because of anything that they did wrong. Nobody deserves to get their hands put on them, and nobody deserves violence, especially in front of a child. What is wrong with us? Have we become so degenerate that we can't even call out the bad behavior? Y'all need to start calling these people out. Don't time them out because everybody deserves to have the right to say their opinion. Don't time them out as long as they're not being disrespectful, but you need to call it out. Call out the trifling nonsense and stop letting these people me too you as far as you having an opinion that ain't even yours based off of something that somebody else said and you ain't ever even experienced it for yourself. Come on, man.
Yeah, right now we're still working to confirm the exact connection to the home here. But what I can tell you at this hour is that there is at least one tie to yesterday's shooting in reference to the house in this neighborhood. Also at this hour, I can tell you that law enforcement officers are in the vicinity. You can't see the several police units behind me right now because it's dark, but they are here. And at this point, they are not commenting on the nature of this investigation. Take a look at your screen here. This is video of federal agents spotted in this Conroe neighborhood last night. At this hour, we're still working to learn a lot more about the shooter. Houston police say a 30-plus-year-old woman who walked inside Lakewood Church on Sunday shooting with a long rifle was shot and killed by two off-duty officers. The woman had a child as young as 5 with her, shot in the exchange of gunfire between her and the officers. The child, HPD says, is in critical condition at the hospital, and another man was shot in his leg in the crossfire.
Here's my question. As we examine what's going on in the world and we see all of the evil that's breaking out, a lot of people are telling me, well, Anton, it was a woman. And the news are saying that it's a woman. And I'm looking at the chat because I love to interact with the people, and that's a part of what this show is because chat lives matters. Here's my question. Was it a biological woman? Thank you, Tam Renee. I'm going to look at that email. Was it a biologically born woman or was it a biologically born male? Because the context matters. They're automatically saying, well, it was a woman, but was it? Was it a biologically born woman or was it a biologically born male? Because that then matters on how the news is reporting it because it's slanting it a certain way in order for you, excuse me, it's slanting it a certain way in order for you guys to be influenced and then for us to be influenced by long-term how we see certain things. Is it a biological woman or is it a biological male? Some people say, y'all got to get the insight. Find out for me. I'm going to look at this a little bit more. Let me play this.
Chief Venner and Pastor Joel Osteen had to say about this tragic shooting.
Places of worship. That's what they are. And that's what they will remain in our city.
We don't understand why these things happen, but we know God's in control, and we're going to pray for that little 5-year-old boy and pray for the lady that was deceased.
Yeah, right now we're still working to learn the connection between this woman as well as this little boy still fighting for his life. In the meantime, we're going to send it over to Victor Jacobo, who is live at Lakewood Church, who has more on eyewitness accounts. Victor?
Yeah, Eric Daniels said, what does it matter? Because context matters. Okay, if you get beat up in the parking lot, but you get beat up by somebody that they're identifying as a woman, but it was a biological male, Does it make a difference? Does it make a difference what jail that they go into? Does it make a difference that they brought a child into it? All of the details matter. You can't just say, oh man, it was a shooting at the church. We want to know the details. That's why it's called an investigation. We want to know if it's influenced by what it is that's happening in society. Why did they do it? What was the manifesto? What was the sex of the person? All of it absolutely matters. If it was a biologically born woman, that's not the nature of a woman to do something like this inside of a church. Historically, we don't see it. And so don't question me for questioning what the details of the investigation is saying. Don't just say, well, a lot of people were sending me this story and they said, well, Anton, it was a woman. But then a lot of people are saying, well, it was a person that was a part of the alphabet community. Yeah, it matters. It matters that y'all said that it was a woman in the first place. 100% it matters. Why wouldn't it matter? Why wouldn't it matter? You know, the fact that we even have to sit here and ask this question of whether it was a biologically born woman or a male, and nobody knows for sure, is the real issue in this conversation right now. It absolutely matters. 100%. 100%. Every single detail matters. 100% of the detail matters.
We're learning more about the harrowing stories from people who were inside Lakewood Church during the moments when those shots rang out. Now, when the shooting happened, it was just minutes before service was set to begin around 2 p.m. That meant people were filling inside the building right before that service. Witnesses told KHOU how they managed to run out of the building or were forced to find cover inside before police could respond to the scene. Now, the situation was terrifying, especially for parents who were separated from their children who were at the daycare center inside Lakewood. Now, here you're going to listen to a scary account of a young boy who was in a daycare center of the church when that incident happened.
And I peeked out the windows and I saw cops coming, so I knew there was something inside the church that would do damage to us. So my dance group ran into the bathroom, and all we had to defend ourselves is a knife, a box cutter, and a wooden and some wood to block the doors.
And it's so unfortunate because now this kid, whether they know it or not, is actually going to be living with this tragedy for the rest of their life. This kid is going to be living with this tragedy for the rest of their life. It's sad. It's incredibly sad. Unfortunately. And they don't even know how this is going to affect how they see life and how they see every single thing in life from now on. And this is one of the reasons why I say I hate the hood. I hate growing up in the hood because I even identify certain things that happen today in my life or how I see things that happen in my life. You know, I was chilling with my girl. Shout out to Randy Rosario. Shout out to Randy Rosario. She actually is traveling right now on tour with tonight's conversation. But my girl Randy Rosario, she from Detroit. And we was kicking it and we was talking over this weekend. Me, her husband, and Rita, and we was all having dinner and we was at D Prime inside of MGM Grand. And she was saying, yo, you know, when she was out shopping and she was explaining to this, you know, girl that's not from the same hood and stuff as us, that the way that she even carries her basket when she's walking around the aisles, depending on the way that she goes, is influenced by certain things that happened in her childhood based off of the things that we used to see inside of the hood. Even some small detail like that, right? Whether or not you even step on somebody's shoe and you got to anticipate getting into a confrontation because we used to getting into a space where people will kill you over stepping on a shoe. The very colors that we wear when we go into certain neighborhoods or we go over to the West Coast, or if you go into this particular neighborhood, you got to make sure that you got to run red lights or all of this stuff. We grew up in spaces and experienced things that's not supposed to be for children or is not supposed to even be for adults. You're not supposed to experience. That's not normal. It's not normal. And so this kid experiencing this in church, you don't know how this is going to affect them. Everything we do in this lifetime is a learned behavior. Every single thing, the things that you take in on a daily basis, the people that you talk to. That's why you got to make sure that you be careful of the circle that you keep.
Lakewood Church, of course, home to a very large faith community, and once many of these churchgoers had been able to escape the building and out into the campus, were praying and singing in order to comfort themselves and wait for those moments once the all clear was given. We're also waiting this morning for more information from Lakewood Church about when they may open again and what the status is of the investigation inside. For now, reporting live outside Lakewood Church, Victor Jacobo, KHOU 11 News.
Listen, I'm not an advocate for anybody doing anything against somebody. And I think that this is one of the most cowardly things that you can possibly do. To go and do this to unsuspecting people is one of the most horrific and cowardly things that a person can possibly do. I think it's something you can't describe. You know what the worst part about it is? Even if no one actually passes away except for the shooter, the butterfly effect that comes along with the things that the impact that they have on people's lives and how it's going to affect how we view certain things is going to live forever. It's going to live forever. And so my prayers is to everybody that experienced anything in that church. Dramatic. I never want anything like that to happen around me. I don't want it to happen to anybody else. And so it's unfortunate. It is very much unfortunate. Let me read some of the super chats. And then we're going to continue over with the show. Trini Life says, AD, they killing us with food. Read the ingredients. Oh, I know. And it's not even until you travel outside of the country and you see how they do their food versus how it is that we do our food that you'll realize that absolutely it is a monetized business for not only the food that they feed us, but the way that they have to treat us as a result of what the food does to us. 100% right. Slan Sells Cars is in the building. I appreciate you. Says, thanks, Anton. Shout out to the Sacramento. Shan Sells Cars is in the Sacramento area, y'all. The Sacramento area. Shout out to Slan Sells Cars. Counselor Mr. G is in the building. Says, just breezing through the show. I'm not only here on Fridays. I tune in between talking to clients when I get time. I know y'all miss me when I'm not here. Shout out to Counselor Mr. G. I appreciate you, big dog. Chris J is in the building. Says, I drove by this yesterday. Wild scenery. It's unfortunate. In the church of all places. Self-Made Forever says schools are pushing Alphabet on children. So imagine how much these shootings will happen in the future. Alphabet currently having more shootings, but society is worried about incels. It's going to get worse before it get better, in my opinion, but we're going to continue over with the show. Let's continue over with the show. So a Nigerian banker. Now, when y'all sent this to me, you know, when you see a lot of these things, I'm going to be honest with you. When I see anything Nigerian inside of my email, I automatically get skeptical. No, listen, there's no Nigerian prince that's going to send you $300 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever I see anything labeled Nigerian, unfortunately, it's that PTSD, a Nigerian come through my email box, the first thing that I say to myself is, oh, I ain't even going to bother with this. I don't even want to open up this email. But then I start seeing it on my algorithm. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? And then I did a little bit of digging and I did a little bit of research. And so I want to share this with you. Apparently, a Nigerian executive from a bank was him and basically 6 people passed away in a helicopter crash on their way to the Super Bowl. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Check out this story, y'all.
We are following developing news now. The CEO of one of Nigeria's largest banks was killed in yesterday's helicopter crash near the California-Nevada border.
A total of 6 people died when the helicopter went down in the Mojave Desert. KTLA's Annie Rose Ramos live in our news center with the latest information we're learning about those victims and also the investigation. Annie Rose.
Lauren and Megan, good morning to you both. Well, 2 pilots and 4 passengers were in that helicopter that took off from Palm Springs Friday night, crashing in the middle of the Mojave. Among those killed, the CEO of one of Nigeria's largest banks and his wife and his son, all on their way to the Super Bowl. All right, we want to bring up a map here of exactly where this happened so you can check this out. The helicopter going down just south of Interstate 15, about 75 miles northeast of Barstow. It took off from Palm Springs Airport around 8:45 Friday night and was en route to Boulder City, Nevada, outside of Las Vegas. According to victims' friends, the passengers were headed to the Super Bowl. The NTSB now investigating if weather or any other elements could have been a factor in this crash.
It was reported by witnesses that there was rain with some wintry mix. We are aware of media reports of some downed power lines near the accident site. We will be looking into this report.
All right, the 6 victims were flying in a helicopter made by Airbus model EC-130. The flight was operated by Orbic Air. It's a charter
Listen. Hold on, let me hear this one.
company based out of Burbank Airport. Orbic Air posting this video to Facebook 2 years ago of the same helicopter. However, we can't confirm whether it's the same one involved in this crash.
So, okay. All right. So you telling me that a Nigerian executive banker, and I did a little bit of research on this guy, and he's actually a significant figure. He's actually a really significant figure. But you telling me that this Nigerian businessman banker was killed in a helicopter crash on his way to the Super Bowl with his wife and his son in the car, and I'm just supposed to just believe that just happened? No, I'm not Nigerian. I'm just supposed to believe that happened. I'm just supposed to go along with that narrative and believe this story and say, oh man, accidents happen. Stop it. He was a top Nigerian banker. His name was Herbert, and he was the director of one of Nigeria's leading financial institutions, and he died in a crash. I don't believe it. I don't have any evidence to say otherwise. Otherwise, my theory wouldn't be much of a theory, would it? But I don't believe it at all. So the guy is a big deal. He's a huge big deal. He was speaking on this particular picture, apparently at the Global Citizens Live in Nigeria in 2021. He was a co-founder of Access Bank, Nigeria's largest bank by assets. Let's deep dive a little bit more. It says a helicopter carrying 6 people crashed and caught on fire on Friday night near the California-Nevada border, killing all those aboard, the authorities said. The victim included Herbert, a prominent Nigerian banker, and his wife and son, as well as Abimbola, another businessman. A Federal Aviation Administration said that the Eurocopter crashed around 10 p.m. local time, an unincorporated community about 60 miles south of Las Vegas, eastern San Bernardino County. The helicopter departed Palm Springs, California at 8:45. It was headed towards Boulder City, Nevada. The chartered flight crashed near Halloran Springs, California at 10:08 p.m., adding that all those aboard, the 2 crew members and 4 passengers, were killed. He said that the witnesses reported that the helicopter crashed amid rainy and wintry conditions. I'd like to express my deepest sympathies to the families and loved ones of those who lost their lives in this terrible tragedy. Nigeria's president identified 4 victims as him, his wife, his kid, and another businessman. His passing is an overwhelming tragedy that is shocking beyond comprehension. Access Bank, where he was a director, first confirmed his death on Sunday morning, describing him in social media as a visionary leader whose impact will be forever felt. He was an alumnus of an executive program at Harvard Business School, was a key driver in the transformation of the bank into becoming one of Nigeria's leading financial institutions. He was the former chairman of the Nigerian Exchange Group, a financial holding company. The flight was operated by Orbic Air. And that's it. That's all they got. That's all they got of this guy. Let me continue over and see what the rest of this video says.
6 passengers inside the aircraft include the helicopter's crew, a pilot and a safety pilot, and the passengers. 57-year-old Herbert Wigwe, CEO of Access Bank, who was traveling with his wife and his son. The 4th passenger, Bamufin Ogunbanjo, the former chair of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Now the president of Nigeria posting this message to social media, saying, "I am shocked and deeply distressed by the news of the passing of Mr. Wigwe, along with his wife and son and Mr. Ogunbanjo." Others calling the death of Herbert Wigwe a terrible blow for Nigeria and Africa's banking industry. The NTSB now looking to speak with anyone who might have seen Friday's fiery crash.
As far as we know, from what was reported from witnesses, that there was fire when the aircraft did contact the terrain. There were several 911 calls last night to report the crash from Interstate 15. And we'd like to ask any of those people that had witnessed that if they would reach out to us with any further information they may have, such as photos or anything of that sort.
Now, according to the NTSB, who says they're just starting this investigation, the aircraft did not have a cockpit voice recorder or a flight data recorder. And that is because those devices were not required on this type of aircraft.
Stop it. Stop it. No. You're not going to sit here and tell me that, oh, no, it didn't have a flight recorder. It didn't have any of this stuff. It wasn't required. Come on, man. You telling me 2 of the top most important businessmen, the wife and the kid, is all in a helicopter? I just don't think that it's, I just don't believe that it's just a coincidence. I don't believe that it's a coincidence. Honestly, I don't have any evidence. I can't substantiate my argument. I just don't believe. I think that when you start to get to a certain level and you start to play into the money game and a certain thing, and you talking about rising to power and the leading institution and the co-founder of one of the biggest asset holdings, it just so happened to not have no voice recorder or nothing. Come on, man. Come on, bro. I just don't believe. I believe that there's more to the story. John Best says black people love conspiracies. No, I just like to look into it a little bit deeper. See, at what point do it no longer become a conspiracy? Anything can literally be a conspiracy. Anything that you think is not what it is that they're presenting it to be could be a conspiracy, right? Some of the things that we evaluated on this channel that we're going to get into, for example, like Fani Willis. Is it a conspiracy that they're trying to keep certain candidates from being voted on for other reasons? Is it a conspiracy that certain things happen in life that then somehow, in some way, certainly happens this way? Is it a conspiracy that they're keeping the border open for alternate reason other than the fact that they just don't have the resources or the manpower in order to be able to protect the border? Listen, it's a conspiracy until it's not. And it doesn't hurt you to question, to understand the why, or to ask questions, because when you start to ask questions, then you can start to get to the bottom of it and you can solve for whatever issues that you may have or any questions that you may have about the situation. But listen, it's not a conspiracy. It's just a God gave us all of our senses, and I don't ignore some of my senses and just be like, oh man, no, I may not have the evidence behind it. I may not say that something was what it wasn't. I'm not going to say something happened to him that was outside of the norm, but you're not going to sit here. You're not going to sit here and tell me that I can't question it because it's a conspiracy. No, I'm just curious. I don't just sit here and take it at face value and be like, oh, shout out to my girl Mika. I don't just take it at face value and just be like, oh, no, it's just how it is that the news is presenting it. Bull crap. So I'll keep an eye on this. This is one of the stories that I want to keep an eye on because I'm always curious as to what's happening behind the scenes. Prayers up for his family. Prayers up for the people in Nigeria and the impact that this is going to leave on y'all. I don't know what impact or what deal or what could be happening behind the scenes, but it is what it is. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to continue over with the show. Adonis1909 says, blessings, brother AD. Keep up the progress and spreading the love to those who will listen and take in the knowledge. Shout out to you, my friend. I appreciate you. Jacques PF says, greetings and blessings, grace and mercy to everyone. We love everybody. JC Cuts is in the building with the 5-ball, says, the only reason you didn't watch the Super Bowl was because your Lions was not in it. Come on, man. Nah. I didn't even watch the 4 Lions games that they lost, or the Lions game that they lost, or the ones that they won. Listen, I'm about a bag. What the a 50? You know what I'm saying? A Black Beauty says, Access is the only real Niger people swear by. I met Mr. Wigwe at Access Bank headquarters in Anuru. He was respectful and honorable. I'll never forget his smile. He was about his business. In LA is killing our black people. Shout out to my girl, Black Beauty. Thank you for the super chat, my love. Sayai Max says, my mom is colleagues with Herbert's closest friends. Much as it sounds suspicious, no foul play at all. One of the few power players, corruption for. How do you know? How do you know? See, listen, it don't necessarily be foul play on the part of the person that he's doing something specifically, but it could be somebody else that's paying attention to him. And so you have no clue. You have no clue. None of us knows. None of us knows. Listen, if I'm enemies with somebody, me in particular, if I'm enemies with somebody, do you think that I'm going to announce that I'm enemies with you? If I was ever going to get at you, it would never be any kind of indication that I'm going to get at you. I'm not going to talk about you. I'm not going to have no conversation with you. I'm not even going to let you know that we got problems. I don't even want you telling somebody else that we got a problem. For me, I don't even want to be noticed by you. I don't want to see you. I don't want anything to even be up with you. I don't want it to be no beef. None of that. They're not going to announce if it's foul play. Hey, fam, I got a problem with him. It's foul play. Most of the things that happen that influence what's happening in this world, you don't know nothing about it. Come on, man. Darnell Nelson says, Nigeria is full of corruption and control for power and money. And so is the United States of America and everywhere else in the world. Adonis1909 says, why are people still using the term conspiracy when so many known conspiracies has come out to be true? The willful ignorance is uncanny. Agreed. He also says, why are top execs who have a hand in the coming change to the financial system dying in odd ways, from the Cash App founder to this banker? Facts. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. If you have not already, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's continue over. So I can't let this go. I can't let this go because it's now turning into a snowball. It's a snowball effect. And so what we thought was just a little bit of hanky-panky, a little bit of hanky-panky from behind the scenes. You know, she wanted to bust it down for a real one. And, you know, he was going through a divorce. Well, he started to file for the divorce once he got that bag. But what we thought was just a little bit of hanky-panky and conspiracy theories with regard to the prosecution of Trump over in Georgia by the Fulton County DA has now turned into a full-blown investigation, which is now including whistleblowers. Make sure y'all get a like up for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. Shout out to my people on Facebook. I love you. I appreciate you. Y'all got to see this.
Has come under fire for having an intimate relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade. Wade is assisting in the Trump election interference case.
Shout out to IBB.
Fox 5's Deidre Dukes is live at the state capitol with the day's developments. Deidre.
And we heard from the first time today during that committee meeting that so-called whistleblowers from inside the DA's office, we were told, have contacted the committee chair accusing DA Willis of misconduct and the misuse of funds.
This is not any type of political witch hunt. This is a quest for the truth.
State Senator Bill Pelzer dropped a bombshell as the meeting got underway. The committee chair said he's heard from several whistleblowers who are eager to testify.
There are whistleblowers inside the Fulton County DA's office that are raising complaints and allegations about the misuse of both federal funds and state funds.
Wait a minute. Let me put some Fani in it. Wait a minute. Let me put some Fani in it. Wait a minute. Let me put some Fani in it. You telling me that Fani is out here letting her Fani get the best of her? Say it ain't so, Fani. Say it ain't so, Fani. Listen, baby. Baby. You telling me that there's some whistleblowers out here that said that, listen, I didn't want to say nothing. I didn't want to be the one to tell you, but it's some things that's happening over here that I don't necessarily agree with. There's some things, there's some hanky-panky that's happening over here that I don't necessarily agree with. Say it ain't so. Let me ask y'all a question. How do you know when to mind your business, and how do you know when to say something? Because we all want to preserve our jobs. We want to preserve our positions. And we try to pick and choose what makes sense and what don't make sense. But why is it that when something happens, where there's smoke, there usually is a whole lot of fires? And so now there's a bunch of people inside of our office that's saying that, listen, we gonna go ahead and let you know what's really happening in these. It's similar to what happened to Tiffany Henyard over in Dalton. Yep, BB Bay, another conspiracy proven real. It's the same thing that would happen to Tiffany. Listen, y'all wouldn't believe the type of information that I have on Tiffany Henyard. You have no clue the level of investigation and how deep the rabbit hole goes. Because on the surface, you know, if you let them tell it, it's just the fact that she's just a little black girl over in Dalton that's a supervisor of Thornton Township that is being unfairly judged, and they just coming at me because they know that I'm a black woman and I'm a double minority. And so on the surface, we thought, oh man, she just wanted to take a Vegas trip. Now, what I'm starting to find out is that the rabbit hole goes deep. And I was saying to myself, once all of this information started coming out and people was reaching out to me that was over there in Dalton, and I know this and I know that, and I got to pick and choose what information I want to share later on in this week because I don't want to get nobody in trouble and I don't want to mess up nobody's positions and jobs and all of this. And you start really, really digging and you want to make sure that you got the right information because you don't want people to just be throwing their theories out or their rumors. You want to make sure that it's actually accurate. Then you do a little bit of research and you find out that it's accurate. And I'm like, what? No way. No freaking way. Unreal. This is incredible. And I was thinking to myself, if I was Tiffany, I would have just went ahead and heeded the warning because the way that this is turning out, I might have to get my FBI buddies on this. And it's the same thing that's playing out with Fani. Standing on business often at times gets you exposed.
Golden DA Fani Willis has come under fire for having an intimate relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. Willis hired Wade to lead the 2020 Trump election interference case.
You lose the confidence of the public in the fairness of our criminal justice system if they think prosecutors are engaging in prosecution so that their lovers can get rich.
Attorneys for several Trump co-defendants want Willis disqualified and the charges dismissed, saying she benefited financially from her relationship with Wade.
I think a political witch hunt or show trial would damage Georgians' faith in both our political and legal system.
Republican lawmakers spearheaded the committee over the objection of Senate Democrats who call the investigation a political witch hunt.
Well, when you get right down to it, it goes as far back as the 2020 election. That's unfortunate.
Over the next several months, the bipartisan panel will look into allegations.
How can people say it's a political witch hunt before they actually finish with the investigation? Why would it be a witch hunt? Why can't we just stand on business? Listen, if you ain't got nothing to hide, then go ahead and look into it. You know, people be saying to me all the time, Anton, you shouldn't show how much money you make. You shouldn't show yourself on a Patreon. You shouldn't reveal how much money you're generating. Why do I care? The 1099 gotta go. It goes to the IRS at the same time that it goes to me. I still gotta file it. The IRS is. That's the whole reason why you got accountants and you make sure that you do things on the up and up and bookkeeping. So what? You get audited. You show them that you on the up and up. You keep it moving. Ain't nobody tripping about that. The only time that you got something to worry about is if you got something to hide. And so I don't care about your witch hunt because you don't find any witches in my britches. I'm just saying.
Of potential conflicts of interest and the misuse of state funds. Willis may be subpoenaed to testify.
It's not a given. You know, if I will certainly give her the opportunity, you know, and if I were her, I would want to be heard.
Now, the committee does not have the power to remove the DA from office, but based on their findings, they could make recommendations for changes in state law and also changes in funding appropriation. At the state capitol, Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
All right, well, it'll be interesting to see what comes of this. Thanks so much, Deidre.
We're also learning new information this morning about Fulton County DA Fani Willis and her affair with a member of the team prosecuting former President Donald Trump. Republican lawmakers say several whistleblowers are eager to come forward and testify that Willis misused state and federal funds. Now an emergency hearing is scheduled for this week. News Nation's Elizabeth Pran joins us live from Atlanta. Elizabeth, what do we know about these whistleblowers? Any idea who they are?
Yeah, no, we don't know who they are. We did hear from the lawmakers on Friday, and they told us that they have these whistleblowers. They tell us that they have quite a few of them who are eager. So two things working against the DA, not only the state lawmakers with those alleged whistleblowers, but also lawyers say they have proof that she was lying before this trial or these allegations ever began. So Ashley Merchant is the prosecuting attorney here. She claims that the affair with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade began long before this racketeering case. And she says that's contrary to an official affidavit just about a week ago from Willis. So she writes in part, this is a motion that was filed on Friday. Since Willis and Wade were not forthright about their relationship in the first instance, there is no reason to believe they are telling the truth now.
So let's stop there. Ain't this crazy? Of course it's not crazy. All they doing is proving what we already knew. And see, the problem, the burden of proof always rests, right? The burden of proof always rests with us. Because as long as we can't prove it, then you can continue to do whatever it is that you want to do. And so what they basically saying is that, listen, not only is it improper and not only is what's going on in this office absolutely egregious and disrespectful, but they was busting it down for a real one a long time ago. So what you think that they just started this after a certain part of the case and they was like, you know what? Let's hold off until this part of it and we can make sure that we're doing it properly. You think that people are disciplined enough and that Nathan Wade had enough discipline not to bust it down for a real one. Come on, family. Come on. We know people. And if we know people, then we know people are reactive, not proactive. People are reactive, not proactive. That means that they do what they're going to do because they get caught up in the moment and then they figure out how they can cover their tracks afterwards. So if she lied, because again, shout out to my pretty tings. Yeah, send it to me. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. If she lied about having an improper relationship way before, instead of only admitting it when she got caught and then changing the dates, and then they've been out here busting it down for a real one, going to visit the Caribbean, because the only reason that she got caught is because the ex-wife got bitter and started going through a forensic audit of his finances. They pulled up his Capital One credit card and they said, who you buying a plane ticket for? Tell me that ain't Fani. Tell me you didn't buy a plane ticket for Fani. And then they start digging and they said, wait a minute. You, Fani, jumped on the pulpit and said that we coming at you because you's a black woman. No, we coming at you because you doing some improper things. Yeah, she jumped on the pulpit of the church. She stood on business. Yeah, we loved her. Y'all loved her when she was prosecuting YSL, but y'all don't love her now all of a sudden. All of a sudden, everybody is confused. Now y'all confused. We don't know what's going on. So she out here busting it down for a real one. Been busting it down for a real one. But then y'all want to get confused about the whole situation. Don't worry about it. Look at Maurice. But his wife was cheating as well. I didn't know that his wife held a public position and that she was prosecuting Trump. I didn't know. Listen, first of all, I don't know what his wife was doing. Secondly, 2 wrongs don't make a right. And third, when you hold a certain position, you have to be a much higher, much greater, above board. Listen. I'll give you an example. I know that some of you, because we have well over 2,000 people that's watching this live on multiple different platforms, okay? I know that there are some people watching this right now that cheat. Cheat on your husband, you cheat on your wife. Cool. Guess what? As a person that has visibility, I can't be judged by the same standards that you are being judged by because I have a platform, I have a voice that influences, impacts people, and I give relationship advice, especially on how to be successfully married, which means that I have to hold myself to a much higher standard. I can't say, but you do it too. No. With great power comes great responsibility. And so you can't sit here and say, well, she was doing it too. No, you are in a prosecution office. You are the Fulton County District Attorney. You are determining who's going to be going to jail and who's not going to go to jail. You putting out evidence. You hiring special prosecutors. You spending taxpayer dollars. You determining what it is that they're going to do with the taxpayer dollars. You giving it over to your boyfriend. Y'all had a relationship allegedly before you even start giving him the money in the first place. How was that being influenced? And you try to prosecute a former sitting president in order to prevent him from getting office again. There is complications and impacts that then go into different things that we have to start taking into consideration. So you can't just say, oh, well, you did it too. No. You have a greater responsibility. You have a greater responsibility, not only to yourself, but to the people. To the people. And you cannot justify your bad behavior by saying, well, somebody else do it too. That don't absolve you from being bad. That just means that they're also guilty.
So Merchant represents Michael Roman. He is one of the co-defendants with former President Donald Trump. She says she has a paper trail to prove it. She says she has plane tickets. She has bank statements. She says she has documents that claims Wade has billed Willis at least $728,000 in legal fees so far. The DA's office is obviously trying to dismiss the evidentiary hearing that you mentioned. That's scheduled for this.
Now, why would the DA office want to dismiss evidence? Come on, man, let's put our context clues together. Why would the DA office want to dismiss evidence that proves that it wasn't just $653,000? It was at least, now we can't put a ceiling on it because the number keeps going up. It was at least $750,000. At least $750,000. They said they got documents, bank statements, people around that was paying attention to what you was doing when you was doing it. At least 728 bands. Wow, that's some expensive. Well, I guess it wasn't really that expensive because y'all, the taxpayers, are the ones that's paying for it. Y'all, the taxpayers, are the ones that's paying for it. Yeah.
This Thursday, but pressure is growing on her by the day. We are hearing from State Senator Bill Cowsert. He is spearheading that claims that he has multiple employees who are eager to take the stand. He met with reporters on Friday saying you lose the confidence of the public in the fairness of our criminal justice system if they think prosecutors are engaging in prosecution so their lovers can get rich and they can share the benefits of that. He went on to say this is not a witch hunt, but Marquita's investigation is falling up and down party lines in the state Senate here. State Congress, rather. And I will say that this panel does not have the power to remove the DA.
And either way, they don't have the power to remove it, but they have the power to at least make changes to hopefully catch it a little bit sooner. And you know what the worst part about this is that it's divided across party lines. What happened to right is right and wrong is wrong as far as ethics is concerned. You can divide yourself across party lines when it comes to political issues or what your stance is towards climate change or government versus state and taxes and all of that. But what happened to right is right and wrong is wrong? What are y'all talking about? Either way, Anton is going to stay on top of it. I'm going to make sure that I keep my ear to the streets because I told y'all that this was not going to be the end of it. AJY says Fani's subordinates is telling. It better not be no men in there either. Adonis 1909 says Dems just keep using sisters as scapegoats. Darnell is in the building and says every dude she let her bust her down in an office that she didn't give a raise or a promotion to is snitching on her, and they want their contract too. They want their monies. Adonis says, ooh, now it's a witch hunt. Liz Walker is in the building. Shout out to Liz. Liz says, Anton, this is Liz from My Pretty Tings. Do you and Rita have iPhones? I do. She says, I have to send you your phone cases, and I'm sorry it took so long. I've been having a rough pregnancy and have family managing the business. Don't worry about it, Liz. Shout out to the Chasers. Shout out to everybody's businesses that we invested in, that's thriving, that's getting to it. Shout out to you. Listen, P.O. Box is in the description. Take your time, baby. We ain't going nowhere. Shout out to you, Liz. And make sure that you get yourself together. Healthy first. All right. Love you, Anton. You the GOAT. Thank you, Liz. Y'all not a part of the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. SimLap says Trump lucked out and got a nice red herring to distract from the actual issue. He fell in the S-hole and came up smelling like roses. I disagree. Enforcer 2K9 says saying they did wrong too makes you look even worse than them because since you have an example of wrong to reference, that means you knew better. Agreed. And now, it's nothing wrong with doing something wrong and then coming back and bringing yourself to the front of the congregation. Let me preface it by saying, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, listen, I was wrong. I did wrong. My bad. I got to do better. I got to figure it out. We will respect that because we also are human and we make mistakes too. But when you just stand on business and say, you, then that's a problem. All right. Jay Denoir says a little PSA to all of the sisters who believe they are queens and goddesses, etc. Stop letting these closet racist literals mind F you into thinking you are above reproach or critique. You are not. Shout out to Jay Denoir. In the building. I appreciate you. Thank you to all of the people that support the platforms and the super chats. We got to get the layoffs and then we got to get to y'all budgets, okay? We got to get the layoffs and we got to get to y'all budgets. So the Google CEO was recently on MSNBC, actually CNBC, and they were talking about AI and layoffs. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get to it.
I want to talk about TV and sports for a second, just because the Superbowl is coming up, and there was a big deal that was made this week in the sports TV world. You've been running YouTube TV quite successfully, and of course, YouTube itself is now bigger than Netflix, a fact that I think most people don't focus on. What do you think is going to happen to the cable bundle? You've been part of sort of keeping that bundle through YouTube TV. What do you think about this new bundle that Disney is creating with Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Fox?
First of all, I mean, these are some of our important valued partners, both on YouTube and YouTube TV, and I expect our partnerships to continue. Look, I think people are responding to how users are consuming all of this, right? And users are voting with their feet. The consumption patterns are clearly evolving. And I think you're seeing people adapt to that. So I'm excited to see what they put together. These are great organizations. And
no, he didn't say YouTube TV is bigger than Netflix. He said YouTube is bigger than Netflix, which it is bigger than Netflix.
They are some of our valued partners too. As you said, YouTube TV has now over 8 million subscribers. And, you know, the work we have done with NFL on Sunday Ticket has been super well received. And, you know, I'm excited for the Super Bowl as well. So,
do you see yourself becoming a major bidder over time for sports?
I think it's a great question. I think we will be ROI focused. So I think the answer, it depends. For us, the NFL.
What does it mean to be ROI focused? Return on investment, which is incredibly smart. And this is why I like the CEO of, well, you can say of Google, but he's actually the CEO of Alphabet, right? And he's saying that, listen, we're not just going to jump into it just for the sake of competing or jumping into it. That's stuff that people that either have deep pockets or companies that feel like they need to play catch up to do. And so what you see happening with Disney is that they're trying to create some kind of superpower in order to try to stop what's happening over at YouTube, Alphabet, and what's happening over at Netflix. And so they're combining forces in order to create a package that they can all share in the profits, because them as an individual companies, they can't stand on their own and they can't survive. How many of y'all downloaded Peacock? How many of y'all are subscribed to Peacock? Most of us only subscribe to Amazon's Prime's movies or whatever, their Prime thing, because it comes with the Prime membership. And so you can justify that with Amazon and say, well, Amazon is willing to throw money out at a specific thing in order to continue to beef up its offering or its content library or whatever, because Amazon is able to get rid of money because they're not just where they generate the majority of their revenue has nothing to do with Amazon Prime per se. It's Amazon Web Services, which supports Prime, which also supports the infrastructure behind how it is that they're leveraging all of their insights and data and information in order to continue to build out their entire business model, right? Real talk. Some of us don't even know or don't even subscribe to certain things, and we don't even realize that we got it. How many people just got a part of their package to Apple TV, but actually use Apple TV? Biz says facts. I rarely watch Amazon Prime movies, but you got it. I looked at my credit card statement the other day for one of the cards that I just got open, but I don't actually ever use. It's a Discover card. And I get billed every single month. And I've seen the subscription go up every single month. And that subscription is Netflix, but I actually use Netflix. The only ones that I use, because I got rid of Disney Plus because they pissed me off with all of this woke agenda. The only one that I use, the only subscriptions that I use is Netflix and Max, which used to be HBO Max, because I love The Wire, I love The Sopranos, I love Breaking Bad, and I got YouTube Premium. I actually got some other subscriptions too. I got, from a content perspective, I got Apple because I got like a bundle of like, you know, Apple Fitness Plus and all that other crap that comes along with Apple Music. So most of the other stuff that I'm subscribed to, I subscribe to it based off of the bundle, and not necessarily because I want it or I like it. But basically what he said, listen, we have to look at what the return on investment is. We don't want just exclusivity for the sake of wanting exclusivity. We want exclusivity as far as to see how it actually benefits us long-term from a financial perspective.
Sunday Ticket gives us a great way to work with a very, very good partner with very valuable content and see how it works. So far, it's been great, but I think we will have a disciplined ROI framework. We now have subscription products. We have advertising products. Some of this pulls through demand on our advertising products as well. So I think we'll evaluate it on a case-by-case basis.
Right. Culture question. You've been going through a number of layoffs. Those of us who try to keep up with the company from the outside have been reading articles about some of the all-hands meetings and frustration that you're hearing from employees and the like. What's happening inside the company right now?
Look, first of all, we see an extraordinary opportunity ahead, given the shifts underway, and we are investing for that future. But I think it's important we are able to create capacity from within. And so
let me tell you what capacity from within means. First, listen, this guy is a master. He's a master at his craft. He's a master at his craft. He said, listen, the technical constraints of what's going on in the industry is forcing us to make some adjustments. And we have to create capacity from within. Masterful, may I add. But let me give it to you from a C student's perspective. I did hear about that Shadow Dragon TV. I'll get to that in a second. Let me give it to you from the C student's perspective. This is all just smoke and mirrors. What he's basically telling you is that, look, the market conditions has changed. The talent pool is robust. We're not making as much money. We also got artificial intelligence to eliminate some jobs. And the jobs that we are going to keep, people are going to have a lot more to do. And so when he says create capacity from within, that basically says we're going to do more with less. So the people may not necessarily get laid off. We're going to get rid of the masseuses. We're going to get rid of all of this free lunch and all of this stuff. But you're going to have to do more with less. You're going to have to continue to rebuild and build up your skill set in order to stay in these certain positions and make sure that you invest in assets so that you don't get laid off in the future. That's basically what it's saying. Layoffs are going to continue. We're going to create capacity from within. We're going to promote from within. We're going to be a lot more careful with how many people that we pull in and hire. And we're not just going to have a bunch of projects that's in flight based off of nothing, because we're not just going to keep on having our monies. We got to give more value to the shareholders and not just to the workers. Capacity from within.
So some of it is refocusing and reprioritizing within the company.
Refocusing and reprioritizing within the company. Okay, you come over from this project, you work on something that we actually need. I know we needed to hire for this position, but we're going to repurpose you because you got the skill set to stick around. What's going on with the rest of y'all over there? Are y'all continuing to work on y'all skills? Are y'all marketable? Are y'all still holding on to the same programming languages and the same skill set that you had when you came in here? Y'all days is numbered, buddy. Y'all going to have to get yourself together. If you're not a cultural fit, if we can't use you over here, if you're not pivoting, you're not continuing to work, you don't have no new certificates, okay, keep doing what you're doing. We're going to see what's happening.
Making sure we can make the investments we need. And we are really focused on improving velocity and execution as a company as well. You know, when it impacts people, it's hard, particularly
we're focused on increasing velocity and execution as a company. We want to move faster because it's companies like Microsoft that's using ChatGPT that's continuing to take our lunch. And so we want to be able to pivot quicker, and we don't want to be able to move like a big behemoth. If we see a new technology, we see a new company, we want to move a little bit quicker in order to adapt the technology and be able to compete against other companies. I'm going to translate it for y'all. Don't worry about it. They keep on throwing a lingo out here, and it seems a lot more complicated than it is. But it's not. We're going to get there.
For a company like Google, which over the past 25 years hasn't gone through a moment like this. But, you know, we've always deeply cared about our employees. I don't think most companies engage with employees in the transparent way we do. And I think that creates some of this conversation outside. But I've always viewed it as a source of strength for the company.
It's a strength.
And, you know, we'll work through this moment. And, you know, I'm excited about the opportunities we have ahead and the innovation we have ahead of us.
All innovation. Now, the question was about layoffs, and they threw so much word salad in there that you forgot that he actually asked you about layoffs. We're going to create capacity from within. We have a lot of passion for our employees. We're actually transparent, and we think that makes for a better culture. We're going to make sure that we repivot, and we want to move with a lot more capacity and a lot more fluidity. And we got to make sure that everybody is on the same page because the culture is important to the profitability of the company, okay? You got it? Hey, send me my $30 million, man.
What do you think Google looks like in 5 years from now?
Look, I think part of what excites me as a company is for the first time, we've always been a deep technology-focused company at a foundation, but with Gemini and AI, it's the same technology which impacts search, YouTube, cloud, Waymo, and so on. So we can invest in this underlying technology and build both amazing products and businesses on top in a leveraged way.
So Gemini is a rebranding of a product that they already had. They just threw a new name on it. And Gemini is formerly Bard, right? And so that was the artificial intelligence technology similar to OpenAI that they use in order to try to compete against Microsoft, that they rushed to the market. They've rebranded it as Gemini. It is basically going to be the foundation by which they power every other business that they have, including Waymo, right? Artificial technology, cloud infrastructure, pushing out technologies, cloud, using all of this technology in order to make sure that they simplify things, increase their algorithms, and get better results, hopefully, to compete against other companies. That's long-term short, what they're saying to you, all right?
And we are investing for that future. So I'm excited about what's ahead. And if anything, I think it'll be a golden decade of innovation ahead at Google.
So what do we take from this? What you take from it is that you have to continue to increase your skill set in order to remain competitive in the job market, because change is always going to come. There's always going to be change. You can never just stay stagnant. You can never think that you could just take a shortcut and that's the end of it. If you want to remain competitive in the market, you have to evolve. And that's in every single market. Whether you're talking content creation. Since I've been a content creator, things has changed rapidly. And all throughout this time, I've always adapted. And that's one of the reasons why I was able to show you the receipts that I showed you inside of the Patreon. Right? I just did a video where I dropped inside of the Patreon. If y'all not a part of the Bag Chasers, make sure you click the link in the description or pin to the top of the chat. And we just did a video, and we also continuing to evolve as far as what it is that we're putting out to the people, because we want you to stay up to date with what's happening. Since I've been a content creator, there's been so much change from the day one all the way up until now. I mean, it started off as just putting up a video to now everybody want to live stream, the type of cameras that we're using, shorts, quality of video. I mean, everything has changed. Everything has changed. And everything is going to be affected as a result of it. Even traditional news outlets and stuff, they can't compete with what it is that we doing. We growing and they going down. It's a fact. It's a fact. Your local news, whatever channel that the news is on here on YouTube, they can go live and they can't compete. Whatever your local, look at your local news, your Channel 4s, your Channel 2s, your Channel 7s. Go and look at them and then see whether or not they can compete with what it is that we got going over here. Tell them to go live at the same time that we go live and see what happens. You got to change. You got to evolve. And you're going to continue to see changes within an industry. And if you do not adapt to it, you're going to be disrupted. Somebody said, AR Smitty says Instagram changed the game. But guess what? Instagram came along. Facebook bought it. But then Facebook also tried to buy Snapchat. Snapchat refused to sell themselves over to Facebook, or now Meta. And so Instagram just competed against them and created the exact same thing that they was doing over there. And every single industry is going to be disrupted. And there is no industry that cannot be disrupted. Not one. Not one. Not one. Let's continue. Dakman 2018 says, Anton, what do you think about the Usher being all up on Alicia Keys during the Super Bowl performance? I just think it was a performance. I don't think nothing of it. I don't think that Swizz is tripping. I don't think that Usher's new fiance is tripping about it. Now, that'd be ego. That's like saying, what do I think about Denzel Washington having a girlfriend on a movie that he's filming? I don't think that it affects his marriage at all. I think that people making too much of it. Miss Crow T. Shetty came through with the fireball. Thank you, Miss Crow T. Shetty. Thank you, Miss Crow T. Shetty. All right, Drone Sphere. Okay. All right. Adonis 1909 says, it's funny that all these liberal sisters are getting exposed through the years, yet they keep dragging Candace because she's married to a white guy. They can't touch Candace Owens. Shadow Dragon. What up, Shadow Dragon TV says, what up, big dog? You hear about the 15-year-old migrant hitting up Times Square and had a shootout with the police. NYC has got... Nah, listen, I heard about it, but I'm scheduling that for tomorrow's show. I'm scheduling it. We gave migrants a break today because we had so much to cover from the weekend. But we're going to get back into the swing of things starting tomorrow. Prince Elian says, folks don't realize that if Trump gets convicted of a bogus charge, it opens up the ability for every living president to be convicted for their crimes. Shout out to Prince Elian. I appreciate you. Jeremy H. says, an AI called Maya is replacing real estate agents. I think that people have already started replacing real estate agents with themselves. For a long time, we realized that we didn't even really need real estate agents, but they just made it a barrier. We'll get there. We'll get there. Shout out to Jamal Fowler. I appreciate you. He says peace and Pan-Africanism. No, he said peace and blessings. Thank you to Jamal. I appreciate you for supporting the platform. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. If you have not already, make sure that you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And thank you for Tiege Hanley for sponsoring the platform. We absolutely appreciate you with that great product. I wanted to end the show a little bit different. So I want to try some new things, and I'm thinking about adding in a whole new segment. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this segment. And then we may incorporate it into the show. Because, I'm always trying things and adding things in and things like that. I'm going to read that shortly. Thank you for the people that support me on Cash App and stuff like that. Shout out to Jasmine on Cash App. I appreciate you, Jazz. But I want to try some new things and spice it up around here because I don't just want to talk about the news. I want to incorporate what we've been doing on other platforms, but only from a financial perspective, into this thing. And Rita actually sent me this. And she said, Anton, she actually sent it to me yesterday. She said, Anton, this is going viral. And I would love for you to give me your thoughts. And I said, well, Rita, y'all don't call her that either. That's my nickname for her. Listen, if y'all start calling her different nicknames, strike that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to edit that out of this live stream. But Rita sent this to me and she wanted to know what my thoughts were. And so I said, well, I'll just use this and I'll react to it on the live stream. And then I'll see if the people actually likes it. And then we'll go from there. All right. So make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Check this out.
Let's budget my paycheck. I'm an LPN living in North Carolina, and I'm going to show you how I had $5,000 Friday, and on Sunday I have $30.86 with no money left over for savings. So me and my husband both get paid bi-weekly and the same day. This week he gave me $1,600 for bills, and I was a whopping negative $18 in my account before my deposit. So this particular paycheck, I grossed $4,360.83. My net was $3,597.62. Our first two bills are the biggest. The house payment is $2,268.40, and my car is $564.76. My first Capital One, I paid $400 on. The second Capital One, I paid $150. My American Express card, I paid $50. My MasterCard, I paid $100. And my Indigo MasterCard, I paid $100 as well. I paid my Ulta credit card off $74.57. I paid Sephora credit card $50. All of my afterpays totaled $283.82. My Klarna was $19.61. My Target was $50, and my couch payment was $60.25. I bought groceries at Walmart for $133.20, and I went to Ulta and spent another $157.29. Big Lots credit card was $75. Food was $35. My daughter needed $17 for school. I had to pay $65 for my CPR, and then a test for school was $92. An Apple bill pay was $9.99. My brows were $100. Netflix was $33.15, and I put $25 in gas, and then spent another $55.10 at Walmart, leaving me broke pretty much $30.
Let's really put this in perspective. Let's really put this in perspective. She's an LPN. Let me see what the average salary is, because she makes good money. So it sounds like she make at least $120,000, $130,000 a year. Now, here's the other part of it. Let me see this. Because she says she makes $5,000 bi-weekly. $5,000 bi-weekly. All right. So she does okay. She says she does okay. But here's the worst part about it. She had a negative $18. Y'all saying scratch the eyebrows. Y'all missing it. Y'all missing it. Every single one of her issues comes to her mindset, which then translates into how it is that she's spending her money. And all she did was adjust how much money she was making to her lifestyle. Y'all also got to remember that this chick got a husband. She has a husband. And her husband is giving her money towards the house also. So based off of her lifestyle, if she didn't have a husband, even though she makes a decent amount of money, she wouldn't be able to even live her lifestyle. She has to survive based off of getting additional monies from her husband. And the majority of her bills was all her own stuff. It was not going towards house expenses. The only thing that she provided for the kid was $17. Listen, let's rewind it. I'm going to play it from the beginning. Let's go back through it. I wanted y'all to hear it in its entirety at first.
PN lived in North Carolina, and I'm going to show you how I had $5,000 Friday, and on Sunday I have $30.86 with no money left over for savings. So me and my husband both get paid bi-weekly and the same day. This week he gave me $1,600 for bills.
This week he gave her $1,600 towards the bills. Okay? Let's break it down frame by frame.
And I was a whopping negative $18 in my account before my...
And her personal account. Now remember that she's married and she has her own personal account. And her husband probably also is not even familiar with her bad spending decisions. But she had a negative balance in her account and her husband gave her $1,600 towards the bills. Cuddles, you're wrong. $10,000 a month is shout out to my churches. All right. So he gave her $1,600. They both get paid bi-weekly. All right.
Deposit. So this particular paycheck, I grossed $4,360.83.
So if she get paid bi-weekly and her paycheck, let's just say 26 weeks. Let's do a little bit of math. I know y'all don't want to do no math. I know y'all don't want to have no conversations. But let's do a little bit of math. 43, 60, 83 times 26. So she makes $113,000 a year. According to her paycheck, her gross, by herself with no husband, she makes $113,000 a year. So it's not like she out here living in duress. She has income. That is in addition to whatever her husband makes. So I'm assuming that they well over $200,000 a year and she got a negative balance in her bank account. Let's get it all out there, all right? Let's continue. Said that's gross. Of course it's just gross.
My net was $3,597.
So that's her net. She got $3,600 in net, which her husband then gave her an additional $1,600, which is why she didn't have a $5,000 budget. So she got $3,600 after taxes, which should cover all of her bills. $3,600 after taxes. Her husband gave her $1,600, so she got a $5,000 bi-weekly budget, which is $10,000 a month.
$7.62. Our first two bills are the biggest. The house payment is $2,268.40, and my car is $564.76.
And that has nothing to do with insurance, maintenance, gas, nothing. All right? Utilities, property taxes, PMI, none of that. We don't even know if she's paying her house, if her house note is really $4,000 plus, but she's just paying it bi-weekly in order to make sure that she get it out of her paycheck. Let's continue. You said she putting a lot away in 401k. How do we know that? How do we know that? That's not what she said. That is not what she said.
The first Capital One, I paid $400 on. The second
credit card. Capital
One, I paid $150. My American Express card, I paid $50. My MasterCard, I paid $100. And my
And let me tell you what the worst part about these credit cards are, is that she's only paying the minimum. If that's what she's paying, then she's paying the minimum. If that's what she's paying the minimum. $50 here or $100 here. She's not even eating into the principal. Anton, but credit cards is good. Okay, let's continue.
My Indigo MasterCard, I paid $100 as well.
Another credit card.
I paid my Ulta credit card off,
$74.57.
I paid Sephora credit card.
Afterpay, Klarna, credit card. I seen at least 7-8 credit cards right off the bat.
$50. All of my afterpays totaled $283.82. My Klarna was $19.61. My Target was $50, and my couch payment was $60.20.
Shout out to everybody financing furniture. Shout out to everybody that's financing furniture. Unfreaking real. You paying for a used couch now. Still trying to get y'all credit together, right?
5 cents. All groceries at Walmart.
All she spent on groceries is $133. That's all she spent on groceries.
For $133.20, and I went to Ulta and spent another $157.29.
And then we don't even know if she's using that same credit card to buy at Ulta. So she got her budget, and she had groceries, and then she had to buy some more food, and then she gave her daughter $17, and she spent $75 at Big Lots, and then she spent another $157 at. Hey, y'all need to divorce yourself from Ulta and whatever these beauty companies are. Divorce yourself from Ulta. Somebody get Ulta on the phone and say, hey, I know it's a lot of ladies that's sitting here watching this right now and y'all having a conversation. Y'all spend way too much money at Ulta and Sephora. Ulta and Sephora. All I see is perfume, Ulta and Sephora all throughout my. Rita spent more money on perfume. She got what did she get? Bar number 9 or some junk. That junk was like, I said, what the fuck was this? She got a whole cabinet. And it's the cabinet, like, it had to be like 5-6 feet. And it's just perfumes everywhere. Perfume. I said, girl, you got more perfume every time we go to the mall. I'm going to go stop in Sephora real quick and see what's going on. How did they finesse y'all so bad? How did Ulta, and for some of y'all, it be Sheen. Oh, Sheen, and Temu. Temu and Sheen. Don't y'all know that stuff is the same stuff that they were selling at Rainbow? Y'all remember Rainbow?
Big Lots credit card was $75. Food was $35. My daughter needed $17.
This shit got a credit card for every single store. Every single store that she got.
For school, I had to pay $65 for my CPR, and then a test for school was $92. An Apple bill pay was $9.99. My browse were $100. Netflix was $33.15, and I put $25 in gas, and then spent another.
She ain't even got enough money to get back and forth the entire 2 weeks with gas. She only put $25 in her gas tank.
$55.10 at Walmart, leaving me broke pretty much $30.86.
She got to go back to her husband, or she got to think about it. She got to go back to her husband, or you put it on her credit card in order for her to continue to get through the week. Her entire paycheck, somebody says at least this is a married nurse. No. I don't advocate for this. I don't advocate for y'all to marry into duress. This is duress. Look, I don't care how much money you make. If you don't know how to manage yourself effectively, this is like marrying broke. This is marrying broke. Literally marrying broke. She was in the negative, and after her bi-weekly paycheck, she got $30.86. And she got $1,600 from her husband. $30.86. So think about it like this, y'all. And this is the worst part about it. Let's say her and her husband make the same amount. That means if her husband took home $3,600, that he gave her $1,600. So he only got 2 bands left for whatever it is that his expenses are. He probably got a car note. He probably got insurance on the car. She didn't even say that she pay insurance. He probably covered her insurance for her car. Utilities. Y'all don't have an earning problem. Y'all have a spending problem. You don't have an earning. And I'm not talking to her because this is just an example. Y'all don't have an earning problem. Y'all make more than enough money. Y'all make a lot of money. It's a lot of money that's flowing out here. Y'all be fresh to death, taking flights, driving these fancy cars, and y'all got a spending problem. How do y'all rack up this amount of money? This is why y'all want credit, because y'all want to skip steps. You want to skip steps. You don't have a earning problem. It's not that you don't make enough money. It's not that white people is gatekeeping y'all from all of the resources. It's not that it's systematic and everybody preventing you from continuing to get your bag up. It's you got a spending problem. 99.9% of everything that's going on in your life is a self-inflicted wound. It's all self-inflicted. Has nothing to do with anybody else. You got a spending problem. And so at some point, we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to come to the front of the congregation. We need to get back to normal. Listen, if you got more debt than you got put up in the bank, then that's a problem. If you got more debt than you got in assets, that's a problem. That's a problem. If you checking your credit score regularly to see what you can qualify for, that's a problem. It's a problem. I would not want to be with anybody like this that got this mindset. Because all you're going to do is drag me down for the rest of my life. The only way to help this chick is to cut her off completely. And they don't want to be cut off. They want to be weaned off. But then they'll sit here, and not her in particular, but a lot of women got this exact same problem. There's a lot of people watching this right now that got this exact same problem. You need to get into the Patreon and you need to get into that budget video, because the budget video forces you to start looking at things based off of percentages, not based off of your bills. The car that you get should not be based off of how much you can finance or what your car note going to be, or the house that you buy should not be based off of what you qualify for. No, it should not. You need to get into the bag chasers and you need to make some adjustments. A lot of y'all, shout out to my ladies in here, you ain't got to say who you are, but a lot of y'all got the same spending problem. And you apply for every single thing that you can get your hands on. Every single thing that you can get your hands on. It's killing you. Your debt is killing you. It's destroying your life. That's why you're so stressed out. That's why you're so stressed out. A lot of y'all women are trying to choose a man based off of how it is that you can substantiate your lifestyle, instead of choosing a man based off of whether or not they actually like you and you can go in a straight direction and y'all can build together, because you're so focused on your lifestyle. So y'all let me know if y'all like that segment of the show. We'll see if we can incorporate it into it based off of the feedback that y'all got. I'm looking at the chat just to see what y'all sentiment is. Let me read the super chats and then I'll get y'all out. Dang, that show flew by, didn't it? Flew by. Let me read y'all super chats. Bitcoin Brown says that new penthouse spot is vibes. It's crazy, boss. We motivated to the highest level. And the chasers, keep running it up. And thanks for bringing us with you. Can't wait to cook up. Shout out to you. I appreciate my dog, Bitcoin. He doing my new site for me. Chris J says, because I hire my people. Yes, keep the segment. Great show. Absolutely love the breakdown. All right. What up, Adriana? Like the new segment. Character has to be on point. All right, we'll see what we can do. Chris J says, credit card 3 times. I'm borrowing that soundbite. Shout out to Osriel. Sabrina says you love the segment. All right, we'll hold on to it. We'll see what we can do. Prince Elian says, LPN's story circles back to your opening model. Don't it? It all came full circle. It all came full circle. AJ Wise says, sound like the husband needs to handle the bread. Sound like she need to get her life together because she's still going to be cheating on him with Sephora. Cheating with Sephora. Black Beauty says, Amazon, my sugar baby, Sephora is my side hoe. Anyways, listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have been the greatest audience ever. Again, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Spam risk. I should answer it. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Make sure you get that Tiege Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. It's been a great show. We got Q show tonight on the Anton Daniels channel. Q show is on the Anton Daniels channel, and we got it tonight, and it's going to be popping. All right? Y'all with me? We good? What up, Q? What up, Q? Make sure y'all tune in tonight. Yes, Q. We have been online for about 2.5 hours. It's time to wrap it up. Time to wrap it up. All right? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Yep, we talked about it, Q. I got you. I'm going to clip it up. Xavier, I got you. I'm going to hook you up, big dog. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Says, man, clip this one up. Anton, ASAP. My wife need that budget. Said the shooter was not a woman. All right, we're going to figure that out, Q. We're going to figure that out for the show tomorrow. I got you. So I asked that question earlier. And y'all keep saying it's a woman, and so we'll get to it. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, y'all. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love y'all. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. Anton is about to go and take care of some business, jump into a meeting, and then I'm going to the gym. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all tonight on the Q Show. Peace.